All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hold on. Gotta move my butt. Okay, we're good.
Welcome to another episode of First Reaction Fan Reaction. I'm your host, Dara Whitman, and here with me is my lovely co-host,
Cailin Quilly.
How are you?
You know what? I think I'm doing good. I think I have
You're
a lot.
You're not.
I'm really concerned about a lot of things right now, but I think maybe I can muscle through. But also, I'm afraid.
Well,
I have a lot of fear inside of me.
All right, guys, we're still watching Orphan Black.
Yes.
And we have begun season 4.
Yeah, season 4 premiere.
Hooray.
Oh, that was so exciting.
Yeah, so today we're discussing episode 1, The Collapse of Nature, and episode 2, Transgressive Border Crossings. And the titles for this season are quotes from the works of Donna Haraway.
Who's that?
I have the...
That's what I don't know.
Oh, it is. She's still alive, actually.
Oh.
A distinguished American professor, emerita in the history of consciousness department and feminist studies. Oh. And she's works at the Department of California, Santa Cruz.
USC. Or UFC.
Prominent scholar in the fields of science and technology studies, described in the early 1990s as a feminist, rather loosely a postmodernist.
Nice. I am also on the Wikipedia page right now. This is straight off the wiki.
Yeah.
It's good. Oh. Yeah. That sounds like an interesting person. I didn't know that she was a
Notable
person.
works are a Cyborg Manifesto, Science, Technology, and Social Feminists in the late 20th century.
Nice.
Sounds like fun.
That's up my alley.
Yes, it is. So I think so far. Do you think that sounds like it makes sense? With
that fits in with a lot of the themes I feel of the not even just the season, just the whole show.
Yeah,
I'd just be like you're talking about cyber-isms, postmodernist feminism. Yeah, that's kind of this whole show.
All right. I'm on the Entertainment Weekly recap, and I just saw something about Kit Harington and Rose Leslie got married. So yay!
Oh yeah, they got married. Congrats to them.
Yeah,
I guess
you don't know who they are.
I know who they are. I haven't watched Game of Thrones, guys.
We're gonna watch it, guys. Kaylin's not allowed to watch. I know she knows some stuff, but she's not allowed to watch it until we end up reviewing it, which is not going to be till the show ends next goddamn year.
Ha ha. That's okay. We still got some stuff. We still got my turn coming up. So maybe by the time my turn is over, we can do Game of Thrones or something else. We'll talk about it.
Anyway, so actually, let's get on to this premiere. So, interesting episode.
Yeah.
In that...
It's a whole flashback episode.
It's a prequel episode.
Yay, prequel.
And there's not many clones that we're following, because we're just following Beth.
Yeah, some others do show up, but they're more background in the background.
Yeah, and
a lot of dead people show up.
You guys don't remember, she is a detective, or was a detective, who in the first 5 minutes of the series premiere jumped in front of a train.
Yeah, she killed herself in the first 5 minutes. So we don't really know a lot about her besides what we hear from other people.
Well, the only kind of way we got to know her is when Sarah was pretending to be here, but that wasn't actually, Beth.
Right. It's things that we know kind of about her. We don't know her. Mm-hmm. We don't firsthand know her as a character.
But it sounds like we're gonna.
Yeah.
Well, we got a little bit of her. I like her.
Yeah.
She seems fun.
She seems like a perfectly well-adjusted human being.
Well, I didn't say that. I just mean she seems fun. But
sure.
Actually, before that, we actually start off in the woods.
Oh, yeah.
And
what a weird opening.
So we see a person in a sheep mask.
Yes.
And then they are watching two people. One is a bigger kind of white guy with a ponytail.
Yeah.
And the other one's kind of a petite black woman with really short hair.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because I didn't get a good look at them when I first watched the episode. Yeah. I thought it was two guys.
That's what I thought. And then they started making out. I was like, oh, okay.
Making out. I'm like, that seems a bit weird. And then you're like, but they're bearing a body.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, Dara.
No.
It looked like they didn't. Yeah.
No. Not
it
that
was different.
I felt there's when you see that randomly, they're saying hey, look, we're cool. We have two guys making out. Yeah. I thought it was that.
Yeah, just like a.
But I'm like, oh, and then I remember, and I'm like, oh, it's a woman. Okay.
I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, okay. I guess. But then later I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I thought they were being weird, trying to be cool, but
it was really weird. But yeah, okay.
Anyway, but they're wearing a dead body.
Yeah, which is what you do in the woods at night.
And then the person runs away, believes a sticker. And then calls. What were you thinking when when they showed the phone ringing and then did you think?
I thought this was like in present times. I didn't think this was a flashback.
So you think they were calling Sarah?
Yeah, or somebody, anybody. But at first you're like, oh, Sarah, and then you're like, oh wait, shit, it's Beth.
Well, they turn the light on. And you're like, okay, because like Sarah and Beth, obviously they all look similar, but like they kind of look like the most.
Right.
Similar?
Yeah.
Especially considering...
Because they have similar hair, so it's easy.
Well, considering, Sarah pretended to be Beth for a good chunk of the first season.
Mm-hmm.
So then, because I was like, okay, it's Sarah, but then I'm like, hey, why is your tongue kind of funny? And then Paul gets up, and I'm like, well, I know he's dead.
Yeah, that's the moment where like, Paul, you're like, oh, what?
You're like, well, he's dead.
Yeah.
And then you're like, and then he's like, calls her Beth, and you're like, oh, so this is what we're doing. Okay.
Yep. It's like we're doing a flashback episode. Perfect.
You excited?
I was excited. Yeah.
You were. I think you said, I forget what episode, but you said at one point, like, man, I wish we got to know Beth a bit more.
I think it was,
like
I've said it before a couple times, but when we saw her in that weird kind of dream sequency thing, like, I was like excited because Beth is a character that for so much of the series, we hear about her. And we know, what we know about her is either the information that we get when Sarah's trying to be Beth, and then just like, kind of secondhand accounts, like, or anecdotes from people like, oh yeah, Beth did this, but we never meet Beth. We never get to know her. Mm-hmm. And so when we saw her in that dream sequence, it was the first time she had a real voice. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, cool. So like, that was something I was really looking forward to see. And I'm still like very intrigued by Beth as a character, I think, because she's just very interesting. So anytime I get to see more of her, I get excited.
Well, like it kind of seems like, and as like we watch like this episode and like the next episode, and probably as like we go on, she's kind of been like the catalyst.
Yeah.
For this whole show.
Right.
So it's like you kind of want to get to know them.
Yeah, if she didn't do anything, the show wouldn't happen.
Well, yeah.
Basically.
Like, well, as we see in this episode, as we see in these episodes, like literally.
Yeah.
She hadn't done anything.
Yeah.
But she's talking to her contact, and they basically tell them about the body. And then the contact takes off her mask, and it's another clone.
Yeah, that's kind of expected that. Just by the voice, I could tell, like, just...
Did you tell it first, or, like, once you heard the voice, you're like, this is probably a clone?
When I first saw it, I was like, maybe, and then I heard the voice, I was like, oh, yeah. So
this is MK.
Yes.
Also known as Mika.
Yes.
And she is a conspiracy person.
No, she's like kind of a hacker type.
Hacker type.
She's like a little bit of hacker kind of.
I feel like she's you if like your career just like goes downhill, and you just like.
I take that as a compliment.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hopefully your career doesn't go that way. But then, and then we have the theme song, and then we cut to. Well, actually, also before that, we see Beth taking a ton of pills, and
not even just like she's taking like prescribed medication. She is like crushing it up, doing like a whole line of weird pills and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, she's going like hardball on this stuff. And so like at first I thought, like when we usually hear like, oh, she has a pill problem, like she had like so many prescriptions, I thought she was just overtaking the prescribed medication. But no, she's like has some like bad stuff.
Well, because I kind of thought when I like first saw this that we'll get into like the thing a bit more, but like, I thought that like she had started taking the medication because she was stressed out about a certain event.
Yeah.
And so I thought like, oh, this is when this takes
that's
place.
what I thought.
But then you see but then like we actually see that certain event, and then it takes place. So you're like, okay, so it's probably like everything.
Yeah. I thought the same exact thing too. I thought like everything that was leading up to that was like because of like by the one event, but everything in this episode was leading up to that event, which is really interesting. So I really like the direction they went there.
Yes, but anyway, so then we
let's explain that.
So we cut to first we cut to like the next day, and Beth has like told told everybody, and we see some familiar faces. Well, of course Art.
Yeah, the partner.
Hooray.
Yeah.
And it's fun because we get to actually see them actually interact.
Right. Yeah. We get to, we hear so much of what Art thinks of Beth and all that kind of stuff. Like, but this is the first time we see them like as partners.
Well,
that's
we knew
cool.
that they were like really close, and obviously like Art was in love with her.
Yeah.
Aww.
Oh, poor boy.
You're so happy.
I was happy and sad at the same time. I was like, it's our boy.
The more
like, oh,
whose
this poor
name
boy.
escapes me. But they
I
find
forget her.
This body, and his cheek is removed.
Yeah, it's just like a whole square is cut out, and then you just see right through, and you're like, oh, nasty.
And it's a lot of more humor. I like more humor a lot, actually. I mean, like, you're dealing with, like, such horrible stuff.
You gotta have a weird sense of humor.
He's got, so one thing, he's got, like, one of those, like, white eyes. So
yeah, he got, like, the white contact lens.
So obviously he's an illusionist. He's got a bunch of, like, tattoos. He's got a surgically bifurcated penis.
Yeah, he's got a bifurcated penis, which is weird.
I never actually.
How do you? I guess work with that.
I kind of got confused. So like, I've never actually like heard that before. And then you mentioned the tongue thing, and I'm like, oh,
yeah. So bifurcated basically means that like split down the middle. So now you have. Basically
and I'm saying like that might be fun.
You have two penises.
That might be fun though.
No, but it's like you can't do anything with that.
But like, is it like?
I don't think you can independently control each half.
No, but you can do it with the tongue though. Why can't you do it with the penis?
Well, the tongue is a lot more dexterous. Like that.
I feel like they're probably like, it's just like I feel like it's probably not like two exact penises, just kind of like, like they're kind of just like, maybe exactly two, but they're definitely not as big. You know, they probably both get like, you probably just get blood thrown down there at the same time, and it's probably just fun to wiggle it around.
Welcome to First Reaction Fan Reaction, where we discuss the logistics of having two penises.
But I literally, because like I saw like a documentary on like body mods, including the tongue thing, and somebody said it's actually a lot of fun when you're making out with somebody.
Wait, no, I draw my line there. That's why
I was thinking that with the double dick.
No, Jesus Christ!
Double dick.
Oh man, this is what we talk about on this show.
Double Dick's coming back.
All right, I'm gonna tell my mom never to listen to this ever again. All right, and my mom listening to this. Sorry, mom. Anyway,
my fault.
We're talking about dicks. All right, so moving on.
Oh. The person who wrote this was like, because I'm a diligent journalist with access to Google, bifurcated means divided into two branches or forks. So they Googled it.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to Google it.
Oh, please don't.
I'm not going to, because I don't really feel like getting pictures.
Yeah, you don't want to picture that.
Anyway,
is that a thing people actually do? Like, is that just like something in the show, or people like
body
actually?
mod?
No, I know body mods, but I mean like like bifurcated penises.
Probably.
Like I know people do like the tongue thing.
All right, hold on.
Don't look it up. Don't do it. No. Oh, what a rabbit hole we have fell down.
I felt Flipcock.
This is it. This is
koalas have a bifurcated penis.
Oh, really?
I think it's a thing.
What do they use it for? Well, also, koalas are from Australia, and Australia is really weird. So, yeah, if any creature has a weird double penis, I would assume. Actually, don't echidnas have like 4 penises?
I don't know.
I think echidnas have like 4 penises. No, that's Knuckles. Did you see the picture?
Yeah.
Oh, Dara. Dara looked at the picture. Don't show me. I don't want to know.
I literally just like clicked. There was like a scientific term for me, and I hit on the Wikipedia page, and it was just there. Like I didn't go to Google Images. I just clicked the Wikipedia page.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna need to erase my history a bit. Anyway.
All right, we're not even 5 minutes into this episode, and we have spent 10 minutes talking. We've literally spent 10 whole minutes talking about bifurcated penises, and we're not even 5 minutes into this goddamn show. This episode is going to be so goddamn long. Jesus Christ. All right, let's move on. Okay. I'm so glad this wasn't the live show. Can you imagine if this was the live show and we just spent 10 minutes talking about penises?
Well, I feel like we're going to be more prepared for the live show, so we're not going to. Plus, considering like what we're doing, I'm probably going to be talking about some penises.
Oh.
So why not?
Probably. Well, what?
I don't know.
I was thinking about what we're doing, and I'm like, how is a penis going to come into that?
Because people don't know what we're doing.
Oh, true. All right.
So you don't know. Maybe I'm lying.
I hope you're lying. All right, let's go. Let's continue. Jesus Christ.
What we're talking about.
So, okay, we found the guy. And more humor. Okay.
So the most important thing is that his cheek is removed.
Yes.
So, and if we remember... And
he's obviously an illusionist.
He's obviously an illusionist. So remember from last season, the one guy had like a bug in his mouth. So, there's that. And Art and Beth are talking about the case. And Art's clearly worried about Beth and just saying...
Yeah.
Because like that was also my thing where it's like, okay, they still talking about like this incident. But then I'm like... Because like as you're watching the episode, you're like, okay, well, she's still in the force. So obviously...
Yeah, she hasn't... like officially been put on leave yet.
So something's going on. So Art can tell something's going on. He thinks it's just something with Paul.
Yeah,
because
it's a little bit of it is Paul though. But that's not the whole thing.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is, like, they were probably okay until everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the thing. And then Beth goes to a trailer, and because she wants to meet MK, but MK's not there because she's
a little paranoid.
Little paranoid?
She's a lot of paranoid.
Thank you.
Like, she's like, you can't take your car, you can't do this, you can't do that. Make sure your phone is like this, and then, but even then, can't meet face to face. Always talking through a screen, which is interesting.
Yeah, but I think we kind of get the idea that, like, probably MK was the one who like first contacted Beth about, like, hey, I think you're a clone,
right?
And was like telling her all this and like told her all this stuff, and then because we knew that Beth was the one who found Cosima and Allison.
Mm-hmm.
MK tells that the dead guy was a tadpole. Who didn't really matter, but was probably just like doing an experiment thing, and
not like an important guy. And
basically saying that like Neolution is everywhere, and like saying like art, like MK already convinced her that Paul was a spy.
Mm-hmm.
But I do kind of like this because she basically says like they're even in the police force. It could be your partner, and Beth's like, Art's not. She's like immediately like no,
she's like no, and like Paul like yeah probably,
but like Art
like,
no,
Art no.
I mean because like it's Art. Come on.
Art. He's our boy.
Yeah.
No way. Yeah.
Or is he? No.
Oh no.
I'm just gonna like stick that needle in the pin in the needle thing, whatever that phrase is. Mm-hmm. Art's not a spy. Just say that. Mm-hmm. You can still trust him. Especially after this episode. You trust him. And then no, like basically like Beth is screwed because like nowhere is safe, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
We actually see a little bit of interaction with her, Beth and Cosima on the phone. Yeah. And it's just like we see Allison and Cosima, but it's just like really tiny interactions to be like they know each other at this point. Mm-hmm. Cause I don't know if it's really established, but like Cosima is from California actually. Like I think she was born in like San Francisco.
Okay. So
like she went and then she was moving and
she was a grad student at Berkeley, we see in the background.
And now she transferred.
To what? Minneapolis?
Minnesota,
Minneapolis.
Yeah, and then
so to be closer to the Canadians.
Mm-hmm. And then to break up with her girlfriend.
It's rough. They were U-hauling.
Ever hear the one about the lesbian in the U-Haul? And then later on, just like at the other interaction, she calls Allison, or Allison calls her.
Yeah.
And it's like the bouquet thing of like, here's some stuff that you need, including pills, because I don't know if Allison,
don't do that.
I feel like she probably doesn't think it's like that, because like at this point, Allison's kind of a pill popper.
Yeah.
So she probably had a feeling that like it wasn't that bad, and they were both just kind of like, because
they're kind of enabling each other.
Because, like, I guess because, like, with Cosima, like, she's far away, but, like, she probably is, like, really, like, because she's a science one, she's, like, really excited about this.
Yeah.
And they both have, like, Allison more than Beth, but, like, fairly normal lives.
Yeah, like, Allison has an entire family. Beth just has detective shit. Like, it's a lot.
Yeah, so, basically, Allison gave Beth a couple pills and then a bottle of it's piss.
Yeah.
Did you...
I didn't figure that out at first.
Well, they said, because like Beth said, "Is it yours?" And then she said, "No, it's my daughter's." Which I want to know what that conversation was.
Yeah, that still took me. I wasn't really thinking about that. Makes sense.
Like Gemma's young,
yeah.
So I feel like you could probably say something like, "Hey, the doctor needs this."
Yeah, exactly.
So that works. And then also Beth goes to Club Neolution. We're back.
Yeah, we're back to that place that
Olivier's there.
We haven't been there since season 1.
And Olivier's back.
Oh God, that asshole.
And that tail. That tail.
Yeah, his tail's there, and it's like out, and he's like decorating it, and I'm all kinds of skeeved by that whole thing. I don't like it. I don't like that tail thing. Nuh-uh.
I miss Olivier. Well, I like that actor's like presence, like, and I like the way he gives a performance.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
He's a good actor,
and it's exciting. Another dead person, by the way.
Another dead person.
Yeah, we keep seeing all these dead people.
And but Beth's there trying to investigate. She talks to a couple of Neolutionists, including one that's there's a pregnant lady,
yes,
who has magnets in her fingers. Which, if we were ever going to get body mods,
that's a cool one.
That would be one to get.
Although, like, you gotta watch out for those like super magnets, though. You just,
I think it's just like really tiny, like like the toy ones. It's like, although they stop.
What if you have like a supercharged magnet though, and it rips the magnet out of your fingertip? Huh? That's messed up. That'd be messed up. I don't know how that whole thing works.
We don't know how body mods work.
You know, I got my ears pierced once when I was 7, and I had them in for 2 years, and that was it. That's the farthest I've gotten with body mods.
I've had that pierced, and then I technically got. I think I told you I got the back of it stuck like infused into my ear.
Oh yeah.
And I was in 3rd grade.
That's rough.
And then I had to get it out, and then that got all messed up. And then I got a second hole, but then that closed up, and I never used it.
Yeah.
My first holes are still in, but I don't use it that often. And I have a tattoo, so that that's a body mod. That counts.
That does count as body mod. You have more body mods than I do.
This can now no longer be buried in a Jewish cemetery.
Ah,
that's a thing.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Anyway, so we talked to her and her boyfriend, who kind of he looked like B-grade Oscar Isaacs a bit, which I'm fine with because Oscar Isaacs is a pretty man.
Ooh. Yeah. Pretty. All right.
And I don't think I get that much information out of those Neolutians, except for the fact that Olivia finds out that Beth's there, and Beth gives the lady her card. Yeah, and Olivia's pretty nervous about the fact that Beth's there. But who does he call? Another dead guy.
Dr. Leakey.
Yay. That must be fun, just be like, hey, actors, just come back for this.
Yeah, it's like, hey, y'all want another paycheck? And you're like, hell yeah.
So he's about to do a presentation, but he's talking, and so they're talking for a bit, and then but we see out of the corner side this petite Asian woman. Yeah. Whose name is Evie. Yeah. And I immediately just went oh, my name is Kuvira.
So that was such an obvious sign of yes, I'm going to be important later on. Hi. How are you?
I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, exactly.
But I would say it's as bad as that because you kind of get an inkling that because Leakey says at one point one of my experiments has is interacted with one of your experiments. Yeah. So you kind of get that feeling. But then Beth actually goes to meet Dr. Leakey and has the book that he wrote about Neolution. And they just kind of talk and basically asked if he knew the guy who's I forget. I think his first name's Edward or something, but last name's Capra, so we're gonna call him that.
Yeah, Capra.
So they talk for a bit. I don't remember exactly what Leakey said, but there's some fun stuff basically God was an experiment, or science.
And she's like, God was a scientific discovery. He's like, that's some science humor for you. And I'm like, all right, yeah, asshole.
And then, so Beth doesn't really get much out of it, but then she leaves, and we find out that Evie is aware about the cloning thing, which I would assume that
yeah, she's like, oh, that's a Lita clone. Never saw one before. Yeah. So she's in on it.
Well, I think also, because I didn't actually realize, but you point out that she is not only aware of the Lita clones, probably because she's met Rachel. I feel she probably met Rachel. Yeah. So that because she knew that immediately that was a Lita clone. Right. So she knew what they looked like.
Well, yeah, she said she never met one before though. So she.
She did, but she knows what they look like. Yeah. So that's the thing.
Probably, yeah.
Also, we see somebody who's not dead, Raj. Yeah. At one point, and she gets the surveillance equipment.
Not dead. We just haven't seen him in 3 seasons.
He's not really needed.
No, he's not. But
he's back on Degrassi, which actually is not back on Degrassi. That's why I know.
I was going to say, isn't Degrassi over?
No, there's a new. There's
oh, seriously?
There's Degrassi. I don't know if next class, but it's on Netflix.
Ah, Jesus, that's a lot of Degrassi.
There's Degrassi Junior High, Degrassi High. The Next Generation. Yeah. Yeah, if we ever review Degrassi, I'm just doing The Next Generation, because that's the only one I've seen several hundred episodes of. And that's 12 seasons.
What channel did Degrassi used to be on?
Teen Nick.
Teen Nick? Oh, yeah, that was an actual channel for a while, wasn't it?
Yeah, or The End, because I think...
The End, it was The End.
There was at one point where it would flip-flop between, for during the mornings, the afternoons, it was the Kids Network, and then around 6 it would switch.
Yeah, The End, that was a whole...
So I'd watch
channel. Yeah.
I watched not a thing anymore. There was that weird... No, there was this weird game show that I watched, and then there was Ghost Rider. Remember that one with the... Remember? It was a show, Rider? And it was a dot, and it was does anybody know? I think it's Ghost Rider. Rider. But it's and it'd be this dot thing, and then it would magically, it was this really bad effect thing, and then it would magically write stuff to people, and they'd have these kids, and they'd solve mysteries. Mm-hmm. And I know Ghost Rider is, and then there was a walk in their shoes where 2 kids would switch places. Okay. And then there was Degrassi.
2009. Really? 2009? That long ago? It's been 9 years since The End was on?
Dang.
Damn. Relaunches. Oh, no, wait. The launches Teen Nick to the present. What?
I think it was Teen Nick, but then it was The End, and then they... Because, like, Teen Nick was, like, a segment on Nickelodeon.
Hmm.
And then there was the end.
Yeah.
And then they just changed it to Teen Nick.
Yeah. Oh. That requires more reading. But yeah, man, I watched a couple episodes of Degrassi. Like, every so often, I'd be like, what's this?
I've seen at least...
Can't keep track of that.
I think, like, I think I've probably seen at least, like, total, probably, like, 6.5 seasons.
That's a lot. That's a lot of Canadian teenagers having drama.
I know. Oh, my God.
Jeez,
I know I've missed some episodes, but, like, I think, like, if you want to, like, I know everything that, like, happens, except for, like, after, like, most of the, like, original people left because it's a soap opera.
Yeah.
But I know I've definitely seen at least about 6.5 seasons. Anyway, back to the Orphan Black.
Wow, we are getting so distracted this episode.
But we get to probably, like, this, so, Beth gets audio stuff and a camera, and I was like pointing that out to you, basically saying like in the first season we never saw a camera.
Yeah, you're like, you remember this, and I was like, I remember the surveillance. I don't remember this part specifically. That's because we didn't see it.
It was just audio. So we see Beth install the camera into like the wall and like hide it by a picture. So which actually makes sense. Obviously, you would get a camera too.
Yeah,
and it's basically
she's smart.
And then she sets up like dinner for her and Beth and for her and Paul.
Yeah.
And then she's like dressed in a very sexy dress and still snorting.
I did a whole line.
And Paul,
of whatever it was.
And Paul's just kind of, I don't know like what Paul's deal is at this point. Like probably because he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, well it was
Olivier.
Yeah, Olivier and Leaky were kind of talking about that and said that like she's basically shut him out, like
we need to get a new one.
They need to get a new one. So I think he knows that his job is coming to an end. And
no, because Leaky says like they don't have one available at the moment. So I think they want Paul to. I think they probably told Paul to like be like, let's figure out like a way to get like you guys back on good terms.
Yeah, and
then like maybe we'll find somebody else, and then because like Paul still has that whole like blackmail quote unquote thing. Yeah.
So, but Paul's definitely not. He doesn't seem thrilled about his situation. He doesn't see, like, he's kind of done.
I think he was done at this point, but, like, Randall, like, in what we know about Paul, like, he kind of had, I think, no, because there's also a thing, because he probably had to stay there as long as possible because of what he was actually doing.
Yeah. His weird double agent, triple, quadruple agent stuff.
R.I.P. Paul.
Rest in peace, Paul. You done good, kid.
You done good, kid. Anyway, but he comes home, and Beth's clearly under some influence.
Oh, yeah. A couple different things.
This thing's just kind of sad because, like...
It's just, like, a really depressing
Paul's, like, kind of suggesting, like, they go on a vacation to just, like, figure out, like, maybe, like, get back into their thing.
Yeah.
And Beth's just, like, not into it because at this point she knows, and, like, brings up the fact that, like, she can't breed,
yeah, they can't have kids.
I feel like that's something that, like, they were just, like, curious about, like, maybe, like, let's see, like, if, like, we can, and then they found out that they couldn't, and, like, they're really not, like, that torn up about it. Mm-hmm. Like, a little bit, but not horribly.
Yeah.
And you can tell, like, Beth just, like, she kind of just wants to, like, feel something, or, like, know that, like, something in her life is real, because that's now none of it is.
I think she just wants to be wanted.
She wants to be wanted, but, like, I think it's, like, the fact, like, this guy that because, like, they wrote love letters to each other, and the fact that, like, she loved Paul, but, like, knowing that like, that's not real.
Yeah, and he didn't.
And for a while, like, their life's just, like, kind of been, like, a mess. So, like, I think she just wants something real. So, like, she tries to seduce Paul, and he's just like...
It's like, no. We're not doing that.
It's really sad.
It is sad. The whole thing is sad. And she just wants to, like, she wants affection, and she wants, like, stability. But like she's really unstable and like she's not doing those healthy things. So like you can't just be like, yeah, sure. And so just Beth is just spiraling. Aww. She's on a nonstop downward spiral.
And like she's not really talking to anybody about it.
No.
Like not like nobody. Like she's kind of
nobody knows anything really about her.
No.
Even those closest to her like don't know what the heck's going on.
Like Art, like I think Art probably knows the most, but he doesn't know about this.
Yeah, he doesn't know about the big thing, which is colognes.
God, what would the show have been like if like she had told Art?
I don't know.
Like it would have been it would have been like exactly the same. It's like, all right, I'm in.
Yeah.
Like and like even if she gave him proof, it's like, all right, I'm in.
Yeah. But like, who knows?
They probably could have been that happy couple.
Aww.
Speaking of that. Well, before that, we also get the bit where Beth points a gun at Paul.
Yeah, like he's sitting, like he's just like sitting down, and she's talking to him, and then she's just like, and she knows that like he's like this weird kind of double agent guy, but doesn't know the extent of it, but still, and just feels like she can't trust him or whatever, and then just points a gun at him, just as like ready to just like execution style, bam, back I would say
I thought it was interesting, but like there wasn't any tension because I'm like, well, I know he doesn't die, I know she doesn't do it.
Exactly. There's a lot of foregone conclusions here because we know how a lot of these characters meet their fate. So like we don't know where this specific thing is going, what like some of the specific plot line is going, but we know like if characters are going to live or not.
And then she goes to Art's house, and Art has his daughter over who Beth knows.
Yeah.
That's good. And she's like, I think like winding down a bit, but like not. She's still up a bit, and she just like wants to like hang out with them and like watch TV.
Yeah.
And I think Art could tell that she's probably like not fully there.
Yeah, definitely.
So he puts his daughter to bed.
He's like, okay, honey, let's go to bed.
And then she falls asleep, and then it's like she still wants to feel something, and then Art's there.
Yeah. And
Art has feelings.
Because Art's in love with her.
And then they do it.
And then she kisses him, and then he's like, this isn't a good idea, but fuck it, I'm doing it anyway. And then they do it.
Oh, Cailin, get your feels out.
Aw, I was like, it was such like this doesn't end well. It's just like knowing that none of this ends well, and this is just bad. But like, you just want the characters, you just want them to be happy, because they've been through so much. But like, it's bad.
Like, I know like detective procedurals, like depending on the network, like they're not that good. But like, you would like totally like just like forget like all the clone stuff, just like Art and Beth detective, and like do it, like just figuring out the illusion thing. You would watch that. And like them like slowly falling in love with each other. Like it sounds like an ABC like detective procedural, but you would watch it.
It's a good story, the wrong plot.
Aw,
the wrong world.
Well, I kind of feel like I feel like if Beth either like told Art, because like you could tell like they probably would have ended up together at some point if like the fact that like Dyad wasn't like trying to like get her other boyfriends.
Yeah.
So that like they could spy on them. So there's that. So like I think that's the thing. They might have even like, I don't know, like.
Yeah. So
it's just all sad.
It's all sad. The whole thing is just a real bummer.
But after the sex.
Yeah.
Beth gets called from the woman whose name is actually Trina.
Yes.
And she's worried about her boyfriend, who was the guy that we saw. And that he went to meet some people that we saw at the beginning of the episode. So Beth decides to follow the lead. And she basically goes there, like looks into like this like little room, and they're basically like, because apparently I think he said like they wanted the implant out or they're getting the implants out. Yeah. And he's like, all right, like it's a good thing you didn't try to get it out yourself. Like that would have ended badly, like the other guy. But so we're just gonna put you to sleep, and so they like put a mask on and you're like, oh yeah, like anesthesia, but like it's not.
Yeah, it's not the knockout gas, it's the kill you gas.
Well, it is knockout gas.
Yeah.
Just permanent knockout.
Just knock out forever.
So,
You're down for good, kid.
R.I.P.
Recipes of that guy.
Yes. And so they're like starting to call the guy. She can get the implant out, and then another guy comes in who I forget his name's Duco, and we saw him earlier in the show at the police station. So he's a detective. So some police members are in on this.
He's in on it. This weirdo guy with the glasses, he's all in on this business.
Well, like, when we first saw him after, basically at one point, Beth gets kicked off the case, but, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's when we also find out, because, like, they have, like, random drug tests, and you find out, like, the bottle that Allison gave her was pee so that she could pass the drug test.
Right.
Because that's, truthful.
Yeah. Good job. What's with literally everyone's trying to pass their pee tests off on one another. Welcome to Orphan Black. Give me your pee.
Anyway, so that's when we first saw him. So we're like, oh no, and then Beth was like, oh no, but then she trips, and you were like, yeah,
because she's gonna get caught.
Well, I think we saw earlier, like when after Beth first got there, there was like a car following her. So like we don't know if that's her or somebody else, which we'll get to. So she starts running. And it's freaking out. And then she hears somebody behind her and she shoots.
Yeah.
So this is the incident when Maggie Chen got shot.
Yep, it's Maggie Chen.
And she did. As we remember. So that was the whole, so that all of this stuff led to that incident, which led to her suspension, probably her going even more crazy, leading to her jumping in front of a train.
Yeah. Yeah, she done killed herself.
But that's also sad too, because like at first you see like flashes between like all the police there.
Yeah.
And apparently Detective Dudeko's gonna be like helping with the case, and you're just like, no.
Yeah. And so like,
but then you also see flashes between, because as you remember, she didn't call the police, or she called Art first.
Yeah.
And Art being like, I'm gonna like help her, and just like, you saw a gun, and she's just like, no, I didn't. And she's like, no,
you saw.
And it's like this really like sad, and he's like hugging, and she's just
he's
like,
he's he's taking care of her, and you're like,
I know.
Oh, emotions running high.
Yeah, but so that all happens, and then she goes to MK's place, and it's just so out of it.
Yeah. She's like, she's kind of at the end of her rope at this point, because she just shot a civilian and all that kind of stuff.
And like finding out that like she knows that like this one guy, like the guy who was like supposed to helping her with her case, is like also part of the illusionist, that probably isn't gonna help her.
Yeah.
So she feels like everything's just screwed up.
Yeah.
And like she brought Art into all this.
Yeah.
And like, because like we knew that if anybody found out about Art being involved, he was screwed too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, I remember like season 1 when you were kind of like weren't sure about him. He kind of seemed like not a super nice guy, but in the end, he's just trying to help.
He's just trying to help. He's just trying to do his bestest. Oh,
so there's that.
Yeah.
And then they're crying, and then Beth fell asleep, and then you were so happy with all the transitions going on.
Oh yeah, that's such a great transition.
And like there's another like phone call, and a person makes up, but this time it's actually present day, and it's Sarah. I don't know if they said like the time jump between. I think it's like 2 or 3 months between.
It's a few months.
It's been a few months, and so Sarah. So with the light turns on, we see Kira, we see Sarah, and then it's Art calling and basically saying like, you need to hear this, and then it's MK.
Yeah,
basically saying they found you.
Yeah,
and that's it. The other kind of like fun stuff was really, I don't know if it's that important. Felix at the police station at one point, but doesn't see Beth. So
yeah, and the flashback. Yeah,
I think they're just to like have the actor do something.
It's funny. Well, it's like one of those things where it's like everything so perfectly aligned so that no one ever meets, and which is like a fun thing to watch.
Yeah,
yeah. Or like that there's always something going on at the same time as everything else. Like everyone has their own stories, and they're just not intersecting right now, which is cool.
Yes. So, you really like this episode.
I really like this episode. I said it at the beginning of when we started talking today, and where Beth isn't somebody that we really knew, or we didn't get to see of firsthand until really now, and so getting to learn more about her. And she's such an interesting character. She's kind of off the deep end at this point. Like she's at her wit's end. She is turning to all these substances. Mm-hmm. She's doing this, she's doing that, but she's still like figuring it out. Like she's still a good detective, even with all the stuff that's going on. And she's figuring a lot of things out, and she's learning things that she's not supposed to know. And it's just painting like this really clear picture. And I don't know, it's like things that I didn't know that we needed to know until now. And so everything that's becoming revealed is like really cool. Also, did I catch this right? Where like the reason that Maggie Chen was killed is totally different than what we originally thought it was?
What did you think it was?
Because she was a Prolethean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they're like, oh yeah, so Beth shot her because she was trying to protect us. No, she just like freaked out and just shot a random person who just happened to be a Prolethean.
I guess, but technically she was also trying to figure out all the stuff to protect everybody.
Yeah, but like...
So
it sounded like
I think Sarah was the one who said Beth was trying to protect us.
Yeah.
And that's just what we didn't actually see it from Beth's perspective. So nobody actually, like, it was just Sarah and, like, Helena, them kind of putting those pieces together. Yeah. So it was just kind of what everybody thought. It wasn't actually what happened.
Yeah, that's not what happened. And that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Like, it's so interesting because we thought, like, Beth had this all figured out. Like, it was the Proletheans, they're the bad guys. And, like, she was trying to save us from them. No, it just was wrong place at the wrong time. And, like, because it could have, in theory.
I think Maggie Chen was clearly supposed to be, like, spying on the phone.
She was probably there because she was also trying to get in on that. But in theory, like, it could have been an actual civilian, like any actual civilian in that case. Mm-hmm. So, and Beth, like, basically went to the grave thinking that she killed a civilian and not, like, somebody who was part of another kind of nefarious organization. And that is super interesting. Mm-hmm. So, like, it's weird how, like, things got revealed but not actually revealed.
Mm-hmm.
And how, like, these characters are actually finding out more than they think, and characters that we thought didn't figure out as much knew more than they did. So it's really cool.
Yes.
So yeah, I really like this episode. I thought it flowed really nicely. Love the transitions between like past and present. Love all that kind of stuff. Yeah, this was such a strong. This is probably my favorite season premiere. I'm gonna say my favorite first episode in the season.
Like better than the. I guess like when it comes to like like season 2 is pretty strong because like that was just like go.
Yeah, but like I don't think it didn't like. I was like roped into it, but this one was, I came out of thinking, oh, this is a good episode. Not necessarily like, oh, this is good for me. Like, this is a good episode.
Yes.
And like, just a really strong kind of thing. And I was just really intrigued and interested in it, like, as a story. And not really how it fit into everything else, just like on its own. So I think this is probably my favorite first episode of a season, I think.
Orphan Black or just in general?
Orphan Black.
Okay. I was about to say, like, in general?
No, in Orphan Black. So.
But yeah, because like what's interesting is like as like what a show should do is like when you have like sort of like a setup where there's like you need a new bad guy, you like have to expand it, and that's what they're doing. They're expanding it all, and we want to like bring if you want to bring Beth into it because like what did she know? And it's like we learned she actually knew quite a lot.
Yeah.
And like it is an interesting way to like get to see how big of a villain the Illusion is by bringing in this like character who started it all off.
Yeah. So really strong, and we still have more to go. We still have a whole other episode. So, yeah. What do you think about this episode? Watching it.
Well, first of all, double dick.
Back to the penises.
God, I'm trying to remember. I was like rewatching these episodes. I'm liking it a lot more than I did. Because like I remember like not fully enjoying the season, like wondering if they're going to go off the rails.
Oh, really?
I think it was just because like, and maybe it was just like in hindsight because like I feel like the biggest problem with like season 3 was like it just started off a bit slow, and then like once it picked up. Yeah. So like I'm kind of like it felt like a bit slow to me, and I'm just like I guess because like I also never took that much of an interest in Beth.
Okay.
I was just like, oh, you know, like she's dead, and like because like my brain just went to like she couldn't handle the fact that like she was a clone and her entire life was a lie, and so that's why she ended up taking all these pills and like killing herself. So I assumed that was always the case. And I just stuck to that conclusion. Right. So I didn't think there was more to it. I'm like, all right, it's fine.
Oh.
So that's why I was like, and then, so that's, well, yeah, clearly there's more, and I was like kind of interested in that, but like, and you know, we'll get more into it, but I wasn't like super wanting to know about Beth because like I just assumed this was her life. That's it. Yeah. So yeah, that's my thing. When we get to the next episode, for God's sake.
Yeah, this is like the length of like one of our full episodes basically so far. So we should probably like get on that next episode.
You can cut down the penis talk a bit, it's fine.
I may just do that. It was 10 full minutes of talking about
I meant like cut it down. Don't cut it out. I keep my screaming in. Because it's funny. All right. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we will talk about episode 2, Transgressive Border Crossing.
Yeah, let's do it.
And we're back. Just to get it. Let's just go. Okay. All right, so we're going to start. I'm going to say what happens with Sarah, and then we'll cut back to other characters, and then we'll...
Sounds good.
You know, go back to Sarah, because she is, like, again, like the main crux. So, it's immediately right after Sarah got the call, she starts packing. Mrs. S and Kendall are just kind of like, what is going on?
Yeah, and they're like, well, who is this, like, MK person? Should we really trust him?
Well, she's like, she's a clone. She's one of us. And it's like, well, you don't know. Like, we still shouldn't trust her.
That doesn't mean anything. Y'all meet Rachel.
And then, Kira sees a couple lights.
Oh, yeah.
So we're like, oh, they are after us. And we do the smart thing. We just pack up what we need and then burn it to the ground.
Yeah.
So that's fun. So we're going back home. Is that this? I don't know if it's the smartest thing to do to go back home, but like you kind of got to figure out why these people are after you and they can fight back.
Yeah, and they're all kind of located in that central location.
So might as well go back home.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then they tell everybody that they're back home, and you know, hooray! So let's just talk about some characters who either don't do a ton or do like, you know, some stuff. Mm-hmm. So I kind of like that. Like Allison and Helene are kind of in like the same group now.
Yeah, which is really funny.
Even if they don't interact in this episode at all, it's still kind of funny.
Yeah, but they're like in that same kind of realm of things.
Like Allison's like being Allison and just like doing a lot of stuff with like the school trustee thing. And Helena has to pretend to be Allison so that Donnie can take her to the hospital and get it all, and just like get the babies checked out. Spoiler.
Yeah, there's more than one.
They're at the hospital, yeah. So they do the ultrasound, and actually a lot of stuff with like Allison and Donnie was like really emotional with them.
Yeah,
because with Helena, because like they find out that Helena's having twins, which makes sense considering all the stuff and the fact that she's a twin, so it works.
Right.
So, one part of that, and she's, like, really excited about it, and, like, this, like, we know that, like, Donnie and Allison's two kids are adopted, so they haven't actually, they never got to do this before, so, like, Donnie's being really emotional.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, look at this, like, this is so cool, and, like, because he doesn't know, like, what that process is of actually, like, birthing child.
Like, I don't know what it's like to, like, having to, like, have to go through all this stuff and, like, have nothing be, like, happen. So like that, it's like it's happy, but like you're also kind of like, oh
yeah.
And then we come back to Allison, and like Donnie is telling her about that Helena's having twins.
Yeah.
And Allison is like, she's basically worried about like how is she gonna, like she basically like leaves a message of how she's gonna take care of like these kids.
Yeah.
Which like I mean that's not like a bad argument, because like we know, like, Helena is, like, really good with kids, but, like, actually taking care of
like, the actual responsibility of
it's a bit complicated.
Caring for children, yeah.
But, like, she's still, like, kind of, like, and she's getting a bit emotional, and Donnie's kind of like, this because of, us, and, like, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And,
it's bitter. You can tell it's bittersweet.
He's being really, and, like, they're all being really sweet about it, and, like, I think it is, like, and, like, you could tell, like, Allison's definitely happy, but, like, it's still, like you said, bittersweet.
Yeah, because it's, like, you can tell she really wanted to have her own kids, and she's got 2 kids and they're great, but she didn't get to have that same experience.
Like the more like we watch the show, I'm so happy that like all like these people like who are in the club's lives are like so involved with them.
Yeah,
because like you get to see them as like you don't have to see them as just like maybe like a monster, not like what we thought Donnie was in the first season. He's just like he's a really like he just wants to protect his family.
Yeah, he's just like he's such a family guy, which is really great.
Aww. And he's being he's really nice about it and stuff. Anyway, let's talk about Cosima. So we should probably mention, because it actually deals with that. They have created a lab underneath a comic book shop called Rabbit Hole.
That's so good.
That's so good.
That's so good on so many levels. Man, the nerds are winning.
Yay.
Really, the moral of the story in this show is nerds win.
Yeah, and so there's the one nerd guy who's listening, like Hell Wizards that they call him. I forget his real name. So he's kind of like helping out too, and like he knows stuff. And I think he was a scientist guy in Dyad, right?
I didn't.
I keep thinking he's a scientist or security guard, but I think the security guard thing was just like an act to get Rachel out. So I think he's an actual scientist.
Yeah.
And then Scott's there, and he's got a nice haircut.
Yeah, he's looking good.
I think like Art's your boy. I think Scott's my boy. Because like Scott's
a good boy.
Scott's a guy. Like if I needed like a perfect guy for me, it would be Scott. You know that, right?
Yeah. That's your boy.
I love him. He's just like such a dork, but like
but he's so capable. He's so like
that's the good thing about all these characters. Like they are like at the top, they are a stereotype, but then you get to know them, and there's so much more. They're actually. Yeah, I love it so much.
So many good characters in this show. So many like fleshed out characters, which is so nice.
So that's where their like lab is now, and they also have some marijuana growing.
Marijuana.
And Cosima, it looks like she's getting a bit worse. They said like she looks like a bit pale.
Yeah,
I don't know if they didn't do like great makeup on them, but I couldn't tell. But whatever. But Scott says like they're making progress, and they're gonna take more blood from Kendall. So, and that they have to keep moving her and like that kind of thing. And actually to bring up Kendall a bit, because like, she's the one who's like being like fully honest. I love Kendall because she's just like brutally honest.
Yeah,
she's just kind of like she needs this like gene therapy better, and then he just might kill us all. But we also learned that Kendall has leukemia. Like Scott sees it, and like
low white blood cell count.
That wouldn't like mess up a gene therapy thing, would it?
I don't know. I was thinking about that. I was like,
well, like Scott didn't seem worried about it.
Yeah,
and like, so I'm assuming not, and like you could probably just like separate it.
I don't know how that works. I don't know how gene therapy works. Do I look like I've ever done a science?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's like a big worry, but then also, Kendall keeps smoking, and
and she doesn't want anyone to know.
Yes.
She doesn't want Miss Tess to know. She doesn't want anyone to know. So it's their little secret.
Yes, and then also Cosima smoking a good amount of weed through like a hookah thing.
Yeah.
Which, like, I'm not sure. I guess, like, it does kind of help with, like, the gene therapy thing. I'm not sure that's great because, it's in our lungs.
Yeah, but it's not good for the lung things, but...
Well, it's kind of probably like when, like, you have cancer and, like, you would take marijuana. It's like hell. Although, I wonder if with, like, lung cancer, do you just... Or I guess there's, like, pills, right? There's like, oil and stuff. Like, it comes in all various forms. That'd be fun. Anyway.
Medical marijuana. It's fun.
Look, I've had a lot of body lotion that's got marijuana in it.
Yeah.
It's actually really nice.
Yeah.
I really like it. Anyway.
Nice.
But Cosima's all upset because of, like, the gene therapy thing and, like, she's getting worse. Like, marijuana's the only thing that helps. And she's talking to Mrs. S and she just wants to know that Delphine's alive.
Yeah, she, like, breaks down because she just wants Delphine to be okay. And Mrs. S doesn't know and she's just worried about her. And I'm like, this poor girl.
Hey, remember when Delphine kind of went all single white female?
Yeah.
She wasn't that jealous. She was just trying to protect everybody. I don't think it was like 100% gel.
No.
I'd say probably...
She was at least like 80% jelly.
She was probably... What was the thing about like the French having lovers? She said that, which like I think is true. So I'm not even going to say 80%. I'm going to say, honestly, like having like rewatched it, I'm going to say about like 40%.
All right. She's still a little jelly though. But now she's somewhere shot... questionably alive.
Yes. Let's go to Sarah because then everybody else kind of like intertwines with that a bit. So Sarah comes back. So they're all back now. Kira gets to go back to this like safe house, and Kira seems like I'm kind of like because like Kira's kind of about everything. Mm-hmm. She wants to know where her dad is, and he's like away or something. Who knows? Might be on. You might be in another dimension, in another show. Definitely.
Somewhere in the great beyond.
Or, Westeros. So that's where Kira is. And then, so then they get back there and, Sarah basically says, like, they need to track down MK because they want to know, like, who is she? Because, like, obviously now we know that was Beth's contact. But, like, Beth never told anybody. So we need to figure this out. And she meets up with Art, and Art tells her about the guy who with the cheek cut out. That was the last case they worked on together.
Yeah.
That MK was obviously the source, and that Art has the key to Beth's apartment. So let's go there and see if there's anything there.
Right.
Which, like, I was at first thinking, like, oh, that's like clever, good job, Detective Art. But then I'm like, oh wait, like they're really good friends. He probably gave her like.
Yeah, he probably just had like a key.
Either he made one or like she gave him one.
Yeah.
So we go back to Beth's apartment. Good times. Remember, like when Sarah had to seduce Paul. Yeah. And they had a lot of sex. Big dick Paul.
I was thinking about that as they were going through that like security footage. Like, oh man, we gotta like stumble upon.
Oh my god, because I would have been filmed.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. I'm like, Arch's just gonna be like chilling watching and just have to like watch that. And it's like, Jesus Christ.
So. But then they find because like they've been looking around and like they find the camera and that kind of thing with the footage, so that's where that is. But also we get another fun transaction because Sarah opens up the fridge and then we go inside the fridge and then it's a flashback.
It's bad. Yeah, that's a really good transition. I was like, what? Oh, look at
that. She's with Dooku. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, and like
like that guy.
The camera was all shaky and you were like feeling there was like tension.
There was tension
because like. Because Beth knows who he works for. I don't know if Dooku knows that she's aware, but like can tell that like he's getting aware, and it's like trying to be like, we could just kill like, everybody you love, and it's kind of just like you're freaking out a bit. Yeah. So that's fun. So, but we get the footage. And Art's gonna be the one who kind of looks into that. Like the thing. I like the thing where Art says like Art's assumed that Paul was spying on Beth. That's interesting, and then Sarah's like, no. And I love that it's like, oh, Raj had a crush on her. And I'm like, well, who doesn't? I feel like everybody falls in love with these clones.
Yeah. It's hard not to, though.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. I don't feel like I can hang out with Sarah for a long time. Or the only one thing I feel like I can probably hang out with for a really long time was Cosima.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I mean, also, like, it's just clear that people, that like, a nerdy little tech guy like Raj can have a crush on a really strong detective woman.
Yeah. Go for it.
So Art's doing that, and then they need to go back to Club Neolution because also they, in a little bit of the footage, they see Trina at Beth's house.
Oh yeah.
So there's that. So they're gonna go find. So Sarah's gonna find Trina.
Right.
But she decides to get Felix, who has not really been around to them.
Yeah, because Felix has been kind of avoiding them.
He's doing something which Allison's aware of.
Yeah.
What were you thinking before we found out?
I don't know.
Were you thinking something illegal?
No, actually, I wasn't. I thought he was gonna like get on the straight and narrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, get on the gay and
Why
narrow.
wouldn't he want to tell his family? I guess, I don't know.
Because it's just, like, I don't know, maybe he's embarrassed. But
it might be a thing because also, like, this causes a lot of stress, like, all of this clone stuff, so he might have want to not been, like, with that. But, so Sarah takes him to Club Neolution, and they're back. So they go in, and Sarah's trying to track down this person, and they can't find her.
No. But she was pregnant, so she's probably taking care of a baby somewhere.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously she's not pregnant anymore.
Yeah, she has a baby, probably. But they're trying to at least find people who know her.
Yes. And then Felix and Sarah have a bit of a convo, and Felix says what he has been doing. I wasn't sure if they're going to, like, drag this out for a long time.
Yeah.
But then they don't.
Right. So, yeah, which is good, because I was waiting. I'm like, all right, time to reveal. All right, spill up.
He's trying to find his birth family.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Which is like, aw.
And it's like, but
Good
it's really
for
sad
Felix.
thing, because, like, the fact of the matter is that, that, like, literally, like, Kira and Sarah and Mrs. S, like, they're all related now.
Yeah, and so he feels like kind of like he doesn't belong in the family.
Even though like, I think it's just like a kind of like a natural thing that he feels like he doesn't belong, even though the truth of the matter is, like, nobody's indicated that.
Yeah, nobody actually feels that way, but I think that's something he's insecure about.
He doesn't have like a blood tie with anybody.
Yeah, and so he wants that.
And Sarah's
wants to find it.
Sarah's kind of being a bit of a bitch about it, though.
She doesn't get it.
No.
Like, she doesn't get it because she's been spending like the past like month or two with like all these people who are like actually related to her in one way or another, and then but because she's found kind of like her birth family, but she doesn't, but like in a weird way, so she doesn't really think of it like in that sense.
But like she also sees Felix as like, well, no, we're your family.
Yeah,
and like we told, and like they said, like they invited him to come, and he didn't want to come.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah, so good for Felix. He's got to find himself.
Yep.
And his family.
But then Felix just goes dancing, and then somebody comes up to Sarah, but thinking that she's MK.
Yeah.
So this guy, I don't remember his name, but like I was trying to think of like what he looked like. It's kind of like if Dan Stevens and specifically Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad had morphed.
Yeah.
It's this guy. Maybe like a little bit older.
That's a good descriptor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
And I was waiting for him to be like, yeah, science, bitch. Even though that's something I know about Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
I'll watch it someday.
I'll get to it.
It's just like I know that people said like after you get past the first half of the second season it gets better, and I just haven't gotten past that.
That's a lot of investment though.
Not really. The first season's only like 7 episodes.
Yeah, they're like an hour long now. It's like a full day of watching.
But anyway, so they go out, and then he shows Sarah this video of this guy who has got the bug in his cheek.
Yeah.
And then they like hit it, and they try to like touch it and like get it out, and then they touch it, and then it just like his veins just like. And then it
they like basically like poke his cheek with a knife, and then like it gets out a little bit, and it's a defense mechanism. It goes pew. It's like a parasite. If you ever seen those parasites that like, yeah, I've seen like videos like bugs that do that. It's freaky. I don't like it.
So if you see that, you fucked. You done hecked. Yeah. So there's that, and then but then the guy realizes that it's not MK, and Sarah steals his phone and then runs off and knows where he was supposed to meet MK, so they she decides to go there. I'm going to cut back to Art for a bit. So he's like watching this footage, and we see this thing where Beth is like getting like dolled up for something. Yeah. And then she puts on a blonde wig. Yeah. Like not platinum blonde? No, just like I think it's close. It's not like crystal hair color, but like
it's like a bleach blonde, but it's not platinum.
Yeah. And you're upset because like the lining was still there.
It looked like a cheap Spirit of Halloween movie, which is good, which is like realistic, like wig that somebody would get, somebody like her would get.
But I feel like a detective could probably get a better wig.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not that Stranger Things.
And then I kept saying to Cailin, hey, remember that look? Remember that outfit? Hey, hey.
Well, like I thought you meant like with the wig, and I was confused about what I was confused because I thought you meant like with the wig. I'm like, I don't remember the wig before, but like when she took it off and had the bun in, I was like, I know what the bun, yeah. I know that she was wearing the bun, when she jumped off the platform.
So you're thinking like, so I think we're
getting
like,
close.
Yes. And then I'm going to cut back to Sarah real quick. She goes to this laundromat where MK was supposed to meet the guy, but then MK kind of realizes that Sarah's there and basically saying, like, you need to get out, like, you need to hide. And Sarah's like, no. Asking her, like, how, like, what she knew about, like, if Beth knew what she knew about the maggot bots, which we're going to call them. Yeah. And MK's like, I don't know. She didn't tell me.
Yeah, like, Beth figured out something, and we know she figured out something.
Well, we cut back to Beth, and she's, like, coming back, and she comes back into the house. She, like, takes the wig off, and, like, her hands are covered in blood.
Well, and she, like, the way she closes the door is, like, she's running from something. Yeah. She, like, slams the door, and she's, like, holds it there
Which I think is kind of intriguing as to, like, it gives, like, a whole new thing to, like, why she jumped off the train. Yeah. Because, like, obviously something happened.
It's not because of, like, the stress she was dealing with for a long time. Maybe it's because of something she figured out.
I think part of there's a little bit of stress.
Yeah, I think it's, a combination of a lot of different
things. Like, I feel like if she had, like, if this didn't happen, whatever happened, it probably just would have taken a bit of time, but she eventually would have, probably. But she's in her house, she's got blood on her hands, and MK is there. She snuck in. Because, like, she was worried about Beth, because, like, Beth, like, hadn't contacted her in days.
Yeah, she went dark.
She basically went dark, and Beth's just, like, freaking out. Yeah. And, like, trying to figure out what to do, and then she gives MK her gun, basically, like, just go back into hiding. We can't fight this. You need to protect yourself. And then she, goes off to die. Yeah. Because MK basically says, like, that's the last time I saw her, and Sarah's like, that was when she killed herself. So.
Oh, man.
There's that. And then MK kind of runs off in her crappy car. And then Sarah just, like, putting her shoes on, and then a guy walks in with the ponytail, and you just went.
I'm like, it's them. It's the guy.
And then the woman shows up.
Oh, it's her too.
And they, like, attack Sarah.
Oh, no.
And because I think they were looking for, because they said, like, it wasn't her, so I think they were looking for somebody else. Yeah. But then, like, they check her cheek thing, like, they see her cheek thing, and then they're like, or they touch it, and then they're like, oh, no, but then they're just kind of like, just, Yeah. Whatever.
I think Sarah says later that they were looking for MK.
Yeah, and then Sarah freaks out, goes back to the house. Yeah. It's freaking out. Yeah. And, granted, she has a right to freak out. And, like, yeah. Because she says, like, when I was a dyad, and I'm just like, yeah, remember when she was a dyad for a while?
Oh, no.
And then
they did something.
And then she remembers, like, oh, right, Kira was a dyad, too. So, like, she tries to, like, get into Kira's mouth, and Kira's like...
She was, like, freaking out. She's like, that's get off me.
Yeah. And then Mrs. S is like, what's going on? And she's like, I think they put something in my jaw. And then so they get a flashlight, and then they stick it in her mouth, and you see the little maggot.
We're moving around.
And then they're, like, doing that thing, and Sarah's, like, freaking out. So,
oh, no.
So Sarah's got a lot on her plate again.
Yeah. It's basically like implanting a bomb in somebody. So if they, like, piss you off, you can just blow it up, right? That's, like, what I'm thinking it is. Like, it's a thing where... they're like, oh, you better behave,
it's like
or if not.
It's like the thing in Kingsman. Remember?
I didn't watch Kingsman. I know. I was also going to make a comparison to Teen Titans, but you haven't seen the original series, so we're both full of references that not the other one is getting, and this is really depressing. Wow.
It's like that. If anybody remembers, it's like that one part in the conclusion, or like in the beginning, that one part with Mark Hamill.
Okay.
So there you go.
I would pretend like I know what you're talking about.
You know who Mark Hamill is.
I know who I do. Okay. I know who Mark Hamill is.
He's that guy from that one movie.
Yeah, he did the thing with the pew, pew, pew. Yeah, perfect. Love it. I love Star Trek. Anyway. That was a joke, in case anybody wanted to know. Because somebody's going to be like, actually, Mark Hamill was in the 1977 Star Wars A New Hope, which actually wasn't called Episode 4 until about 7 years later. Blah, 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 blah.
Hey, shut up.
We know.
So that's the end of the episode. Cailin, what'd you think?
Yeah. I was doing all well and good up until there's bugs inside of people now. I don't like that. I said it at the end of last season. I'll say it again. I don't like there are bugs inside of people. It just makes me very uncomfortable. So I was doing good up until that point, and now I'm like, oh shit.
Well, you need
There's bugs inside of people.
As the show goes on, you need to get bigger.
Yeah. we go from war clones to bugs inside of people. Not the path I was expecting that to go, but here we are. It's happening. Already.
Well, we go from like finding out about clone stuff and having one of them trying to kill you.
Yeah.
To like the scientists being evil and like forced fertility and forced infertility a bit to more forced infertility and male clones to bugs.
Yeah. This is a really interesting kind of way for it to go, because I feel like each season is kind of branched off in its own direction. Mm-hmm. And like seasons 2, 3, and 4 have branched off of different points of the first season. Mm-hmm. Which is really interesting. Season 3 is more about, like, clones in general and, like, the whole cloning process. Season 2 was, like, Jesus, what even was Season 2?
That was, like, mainly with, like, Dyad and,
Proletheans and
Helena
stuff.
was, like, doing, like, the forced fertility thing. I think it was more just, like, trying to, fighting off, like, kind of getting more, I don't know if really getting more into the science, but, like, there was a lot of science, like, trying to figure out, like, where the disease, like, started off. Yeah. That was a big thing.
So like, I feel like seasons 2, 3, and 4 have kind of branched off from different points that were first kind of brought up in season 1, which is really interesting. So it's not this one kind of linear progression.
Well, I think it was, like, also trying to figure out, like, who created them, and, like, I think it was, like, mainly the sickness, trying to figure out, like, why are they sick, and how does it start, and why.
Yeah. So, like, that was super interesting.
Yes, and then season 3 was, like, male, like, there's, like, more than just, it's not just Dyad, there's, like, also, like, a male section. Yeah. And, like, that, like, a company kind of runs everything.
Need a caster, all that kind of stuff. So.
And then you find out that, like, they're kind of run by something, like, there's, like, a god kind of thing.
Yeah, and then kind of go back to Neolution. So, like, it's a really interesting kind of progression of how these plots are going. And so far, I'm pretty excited about this 4th season, actually. Like, I like where it's going so far. Mm-hmm. And so I hope it keeps going that direction. It's weird that the thing that makes me most nervous about the season is that it's the 4th season.
Why?
I don't know.
Fourth season. I'm trying to think of
fourth seasons. I don't think are ever like inherently good or bad, but it's like it's one of those things where it's kind of on the latter half of the whole thing. So I don't know. It could go any way.
I'm trying to think of like 4 seasons of shows that were like bad.
I don't know. I can't think of ones that were explicitly good.
I can think of ones that like weren't like great, but like I kind of understand why they weren't great.
Yeah, but I think it's because not necessarily that even's like the 4th, but it's like it's like the penultimate season, so it's the season before the last, and that can mean any sort of thing. That can mean something really good, that can mean something really bad. It's
I think because like the fact of the matter is like, because like I was reading articles around the time season 4 came out, and then basically saying like we know where the end game is, and like they said it's probably going to end, like it's going to end soon, but we know what the end game is, so that's kind of always gives me like, okay, like if somebody says to me like I know where everything's going, or like for the most part I know where everything's going, I'm like, all right, like you know what you're doing, okay, we're good,
right? So
because they've always said that,
So, but like, I'm looking forward to the season. I really like what we've seen so far. I like where they're going with like how these last 2 episodes were like kind of this backstory and leading up till now, leading up to when the series actually starts. So I'm excited.
Want to read comments?
Let's do it. We don't have many.
That's fine.
I think we have.
Wait, you know, we
have like 4 comments.
We talked a lot this episode. It's fine.
Yeah, we did. These reactions are from our season 3 finale reactions, and they're both kind of the same idea. This is from Steph, who says, "Great reaction. It's always fun to see new viewers react to the fast pace and game changers Orphan Black is famous for. Ready for the next season?" When I first read that, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm ready for the next season." I'm like, "Was I? Was I really ready?"
You're not.
I don't think I was. And then another one from our good friend Michaela Diaz, who says, "I can't wait to see your reaction to season 4. Oh boy, are you in for a treat?" So. Theirs should be out now, so if you're listening to this and you want to see the reaction, go to our channel and check it out.
Hooray!
Alrighty. I think it's time to wrap up because we've been talking for a really long time, and about like 20% of that was about penises.
That's not 20. It was like, 5.
Alright.
Anyway, so that's it for this episode of First Reaction Fan Reaction. If you're listening to this on YouTube, thank you for that. Please subscribe to the channel, Witty Clothes Productions. Leave a comment, like us.
Reread those comments on the show, so what are you waiting for?
Yeah, turn on notifications just in case that thing's still screwed up. I don't know if it is or not. Mm-hmm. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/wittyclothes. Like us there, leave a comment on any posts, why not? We are on Twitter at Witty Clothes if you want to tweet at us or follow us or retweet any of our stuff.
Yeah, it'll be cool. Talk to us.
If you like what we do and you want to hear more stuff that we have in mind for other podcasts that we have in mind, because we've got a lot of them, think about donating to our Patreon, patreon.com/wittyclothes. That would be super helpful. I probably need to redo the goals and that kind of thing and the Patreon setup thing, but if we get, the first goal is still the same, that if we get to $50 per month, we're gonna start reviewing Lifetime movies.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that Lifetime movie review podcast.
So that'll be fun. Also, if you just want to email us at wittyclothes@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Just, whatever. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
And hopefully you guys like the live show, because by the time this comes up, the live show will have happened.
Yeah, and I think if this isn't the case, I'll cut this out. But I think we're gonna have a recording of that, so that will go up as its own kind of episode.
Yeah.
In a few weeks, it'll be some time before that goes up.
And so keep your guesses coming if you want to know what we're doing.
Yeah, what it was. So we're really excited, and hopefully that went well, because we were recording this before it happened. So
yes,
wish us luck retroactively. All right,
so that's it for this episode of First Action Fan Reaction. I'm Dara Whitman.
And I'm Cailin Clothier.
Peace.
Peace.